Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So Ethereum also started to rally on the 10th of March here, really started to rally when it hit our support area. And yeah, I did myself buy quite a bit in this area, as I indicated before, that I will be fairly aggressive in this green support area. And I'm quite happy with that so far. It keeps rallying. And as I said to you many times, we had a possible 5-wave move up of the November lows. That in itself does not confirm that the bull market is over. But I said to you, the first confirmation that you get in Elliott Wave is 5 waves up. The second confirmation you get is 3 waves down into support. That did hold. And the third confirmation you get is a break above the previous wave 1 high. So we have all confirmations that we need that we are in a third wave rally. Now, it's not as simple as that, because confirmation isn't certainty. Okay, so I'm not, to be honest, I'm not ready yet to talk about the bull market starting, but I am ready to tell you that, and that's what I did talk about before, that Ethereum in general looks generally more bullish than Bitcoin, even though in the next few weeks, as per the ETH BTC chart, it looks like Bitcoin is going to outperform Ethereum, but that's only for the next few weeks. Generally, the trend is up for ETH over BTC, and the structure here that occurred since the June lows just looks more bullish because we have a 1-2 and a possible 1-2 setup, and now we had another 1-2 setup. I mean, 3 1-2 setups, yeah, you don't get much more, right? That's sort of as good as it gets, really. The only small problem I've got with this chart is that this move up here was not an ideal 5-wave structure. It could also be something more bearish, and that's why it's still possible, unfortunately, also for Ethereum, that we had here a W wave, an X wave, and this is going to be a Y wave with an ABC. But that's not so much of a problem for anybody who bought in these support areas, because it should still be a decent C-wave rally to, yeah, maybe even $3,000. Yeah, we'll take it level by level, as I said. And after that, you could still see new bear market lows. So the risk isn't gone, but it's imminently reduced, at least. Yeah. So that's sort of the situation where we are. I mean, you know, if you want to believe the bear market is over, you can now, because we've got the confirmations. I'm just telling you, there is always a higher level scenario that will still be able to give us headwinds. Okay, but looking good, looking good. That's why we had that nice and green and large support area. It actually came right into the middle of it. It didn't take very long, but you know, we had a few days time to make our decisions. As we were in the green area, we then rallied in 5 waves this week. Yeah, no surprise that rally really, because first of all, we came into our trend reversal area. We came back in a wave 2. The news were very bearish. Did talk about it on Telegram, Discord, and here in the YouTube video as well, that be prepared for bearish news this week. Well, that was last week. Those bearish news all hit. That was a good sign that we're close to the low. You know, mindset wise and sentiment wise, and as I mentioned many times, typically, and Elliott Wave always helps you to recognize this, that when you're in a wave 2, be mentally prepared for those bearish news. I've got a feeling that everybody in this community was, especially the membership community, because we did talk about those bearish news that would be occurring, and we had really a week of horrible bearish news. And yeah, then I also highlighted here on the daily chart, and that's just for info, you know, how I use indicators, that it was really, really close to the overbought range. And that's typically when Ethereum also in the past rallied. Bitcoin was a bit clearer, or was actually, I think, just below 30 on the daily RSI. Ethereum didn't, but we talked about the daily RSI as well, and that it's now in a territory where it can start to rally, especially as it's in the support area, and because we had those bearish news. So that's typically when you start to see that reversal. In crypto, you see it. That's why I like the area, or the idea of scaling in, yeah, setting buy limit orders. Because, I mean, you can always, you know, watch it and wait for a reversal. But by the time the reversal is confirmed, the price has already moved like 20%. And then people start to get FOMO, and that's what drives these additional increases. Whereas everybody who bought in the green support area can just lean back and relax, right? Yeah. Then we hit our second support area. So if we say, okay, we rallied in a 5-wave move, came down in 3 waves, and then we rallied again, we touched the support area, turned around. It was a weak wave 2. If I count the wave 2 complete, which I can, it was a very weak wave 2. I'm not entirely convinced yet, I have to say, at the moment, because we are still in the red resistance zone, it's possible to still see that C wave to the downside. That's possible. So it is very much possible to have this ABC correction. Yeah, sometimes people ask me, do you believe it will happen? I don't know. You know, I can't will the market. I can't make the market. That's why it's so important. We can only control our entries. And this was an entry. Yeah, I would personally not be interested in shorting this at the moment with the upside pressure we have. But you have a possible short trade setup here if the price comes down in a C wave. But I would not just... I had a few messages of people who apparently blindly shorted into an uptrend. I'm always, you know, the higher level trend seems to be up now because we're holding these support levels. We did hold 3 1-2 setups, so I'd be extremely careful with shorting. Yeah, so I'm just interested in upside, because if this starts to break through, I mean, it's going to go to possibly $3,000 or beyond. So that's just my point. And I treat these here as resistance. They can, you know, you can always short if you like to, but then make sure that you have your risk management spot on. But then again, I haven't seen any signal that is topped here. Okay, so I would not short without a signal it is topped. So I don't know. You know, you can't. I don't know. Question if I believe something, that doesn't help with your trading. So what helps though is the setups that we have on the chart and the support and resistance areas, the pivots. I can tell you that certainly that at the moment the C wave is still fairly likely, because even though I have 5 waves up, I can easily interpret that as a WXY if I want to. It is all about, do we break above 1850 or not? And if we have a sustained break above 1850, then this cannot be a B wave anymore. But then we should also get at some point a correction down, because let's be honest, we have 5 waves up, 3 waves down. This is the next 5 up. If we have 5 up, you expect the next 3 down to occur. So in a more bullish interpretation, you could say we are already in the 3rd wave here. The wave 2 is already finished. We are already in the 3rd wave, even though we could in this 5 wave move, we could get one more squiggle to the upside. That's certainly possible here, maybe in the 5th wave. But at some point you will have 5 complete. And if we then get a decent pullback, yeah, that might be the next pullback entry point. And I will, again, as I did it last week, on the Tuesday, I waited until Tuesday because I think that was spot on. I give channel members a weekly opportunities video, so provide setups. And I think with the exception of Bitcoins, all these targets were reached this week, just a day later. But I wanted to wait here with releasing that video until we had a top in place, because then I could measure the targets. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been a very beneficial opportunities video. So same thing here. If I get confirmation that we have 5 waves up, I'll produce that opportunities video, maybe on the weekend, maybe Monday. It needs to make sense, yeah, because all these setups worked. So it's just now a bit of a waiting game. And as soon as we have 5 up, I can make that video and then produce those setups again for the next pullback trade, basically. So we had some really good successful ones so far. But yeah, I think we're getting here very close to a decision point. If we break above 1850, then we will have certainly 5 waves complete, even though you can count it already as complete, but there's no sign as topped. It looks a bit like also with Bitcoin, like a bit of a 4th wave here. So the way, depending on how I count it, I mean, if I want to align it with Bitcoin, I can find a way to count it like that. And then we are now in a 4th wave. I think that actually makes more sense, also due to the sideways action that we see. And then I have a 1, 2, small 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 3, now the 4 and the 5. And let's play it safe. So to say, okay, the 4th wave, we have still a chance for one more high here, as long as we hold above 1737. Okay, that's my update about that's my update about Ethereum. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.